We are redoing a lot of stuff in our bathroom. So today I'm going to try out some wall texture and see how that turns out. And possibly if that doesn't work the way I want it, I'm going to try some dust addition. So these are some things I learned on the internet and I'm going to try them and let you all see them. So the big problem we have with doing drywall repair of any kind is that like when you get your regular drywall and you paint it, it gets this little dimpled kind of thing going on, right? That's just basically from the texture of the actual drywall and then the paint. But when you do a repair and you use putty or whatever, the mud, you get this super smooth finish. So that when you can see, when you have the finished product, like, if you look real close, this is a little product. I wasn't too worried about it in these little spots, but like here, you know, I filled a hole at some point. And this is just, you know, the dimpled effect, and then you run into this smooth section, which is fine in these little bitty sections, you won't notice it. But when you got a big section like this where he put a whole new section of wall in, because this used to be all flat, he cut it out to put a mirror in and change some electric out, so he had to put a new wall in. Now this is going to be really, really obvious if we go to paint it and you've got this weird section that goes from this texture to that texture on the wall, and it's not exactly completely straight or whatever, so it'll be obvious and look bad. So we got to figure out how to make the texture blend. First thing I'm trying out is this stuff here. It's a spray-on wall texture-orange peel is the texture type. We're going to try it and see how it turns out, and then I'll come back and put that on here. If I don't get what I want with that, then I'm going to do another. Someone else said to take a little of drywall dust from sanding, put it into the paint mixture so it gives it a little thickness, and then use that. So these are the two things I'm going to try today. And I'm going to start with this little section behind the door. That way it's not too bad if it doesn't look awesome. And that'll be my start for the spray stuff. I'll be back. Alright, so I sprayed this on. You're supposed to like just shoot it on. You're supposed to stand like 24 inches away or whatever and just shoot it on. So this is how it comes out. I use the extra fine setting because you can do it in fine to heavy on the sprayer. So I gotta let it set for a minute, and then I gotta drag a putty knife across it to lay it down. Doesn't look bad actually. I think if I can get the spraying right, it might do the job. But I'm gonna try this whole section once because it's behind towels. You're never gonna see this section, so I can go ahead and spray it, lay it, paint it, see what the final result looks like, and it'll be fine before I start on the big section. So that's what it looks like when it first gets sprayed on. So I ended up deciding that I haven't finished painting or anything like that. I just decided I really liked the results I'd gotten over here. Now, you can see it looks weird right now because this is the painted on area that I sprayed over. It's white there, so basically it's just dry there. But it's very fine. The texture is so really barely there that it's going to match this really nicely. So I went ahead and did everything. I went ahead and sprayed it everywhere. Now I gotta wait for it to dry. And I already laid this section down. So I'm going to show you laying the other section down, like this one. Not the, like up there on the big section I have, that's not sat long enough. This one should have sat long enough. And basically all I'm going to do is take this clean drywall knife. It is clean, it's just rusty. And I'm just going to drag it really, really lightly across it. Just to make sure that it's not bubbling up or anything, you know, you don't have any obnoxious pieces sticking out. And that it'll be dry. You know, it's going to dry flat, but with a texture to it. Now, when this gets a little drier, I'm going to do the whole thing that way. All it does is make sure that any little bubbles that stick up, like, you know, there, are going to go down. And they will. So next step, I'll show you after it's all dry and I've started painting. Okay, it's official. I am really impressed. I am going to be a believer in this stuff forever. This stuff is amazing. Let me see. Where does it go? This. The Homax Wall Texture-Orange Peel. I did it in the really fine. Okay, so I haven't finished painting yet, but you can still see the texture difference. Same thing, right? This is the original gray for the original drywall, right? Let's look at it with a coat of primer on it. It's a dead-on match. So basically all I've done at this point is go ahead and spray it everywhere. I let it dry. I laid it down. I let it dry. I put some primer on it just because I want to make sure I'm covered on everywhere. I don't want to see the differentiation, the color differences, where you can still see it a little bit because I didn't put it on thick. But once I get the paint on, you won't even notice it all. But like the texturing is just dead on perfect to the regular drywall. So I got 2 spots. I went over and above because I wanted it to look good. It's a big bunch of areas that we're redoing this bathroom on. So, wow. Like, I've never had it look so dead on perfect. Usually this would be a huge, glaring, obvious repair. No, it's awesome. So I'm going to do, once I'm done, I'll take another picture and another video and some more pictures, but this is awesome. Okay, time to show the final product. It's actually pretty awesome. Okay, so like, I still have to clean up the floor and do some paint up there and all, but this part of the bathroom is done, and the wall itself is really, really awesome. So the wall that was completely cut out, like he did cut that whole, all of this came out, and then he replaced pieces around where he had to put the mirror and around the vanity and stuff. Let's take a closer look at how that orange peel ended up. Look at that. It looks, there's the original wall and the texturing. There's the spray orange peel wall. There is no obvious horrible mark where you can tell that it was redone. My paint marks. Like I said, I gotta finish cleaning that up. But how awesome. Like, it's really good stuff. I'm gonna swear by it from now on. Good stuff. So, happy.